Hello there. Today we're going to do something a little bit different and we'll be taking a look at the likely spam folder on my YouTube channel. It's an area where lots of links and weird comments get caught up and I've got to go through and determine, is this spam or is this normal and should I let it be seen on my YouTube channel? I want you to have your say on this as well because I think what you're going to start to see is a very worrying trend of the style of channels that are trying to be seen across my content. And I've said for a long time, I'm not an advertising area for your channel, and I'm thinking back to when I started YouTube. The only way I can relate this to you is imagine when I started back in 2007 and all I did was laid in links of my videos across, let's say, Fred videos or other people who were popular back then. YouTube's changed a lot since then. In fact, it's changed immensely. But all I see these days is very, very similar channels regurgitating very simple and sameish content, and I've got to start to ask myself, is this any good for this site? Is this now the only way to gain YouTube popularity? I get lots of people asking me, hey Leo, I'd like to start a toy review channel or surprise egg channel, and I say to them, look, I'm pretty sure the horse is bolted, but you can have a go, because I see many people who say to me, Leo, I've started one of these channels and it's going nowhere. Well, maybe the secret to making it go places is to basically do what you've been seeing people try to do on my channel, and I believe it's called spam. Sadly, these days, I think people are after instant success. Hey, wouldn't it be fantastic if the very first videos you put up gained millions of views? There was a time back in early days of YouTube where people were pulling this off. It may have been through being featured on the front page. It may have been through a little bit of a scam going on with the way views are seen. But I can tell you, with my channel, it was about 3 to 4 years of fairly hard, dedicated work and trying to understand this right style of content which works on YouTube. And believe me, it's quite difficult to work this out. Well, I found it quite difficult. One thing I didn't do was go around and try and clone and copy other popular YouTube producers. In my books, that's a really bad look. And if I see people doing this, straight away you're going to lose points with me. That's an absolute guarantee. I was very lucky. It was about 2.5, nearly maybe 3 years ago. The YouTuber Disney Collector BR, they've had to drop the Disney name out of their channel. I don't know why. Was speaking to me via PM, and she pointed out to me some problems she was having with a couple of YouTubers and asking me, do you know these people? And I said, yes, I do know about these people. I don't really know them, but I can't be held responsible for their activity in coming in and cloning the style of videos that she made. And sadly, it was really the start of the masses of producers which basically think, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and make videos which are very, very similar to the top producers on YouTube. This trend is been rife. It's basically out of control, and I said back to Disney Collector BR, in a sense, there's nothing you can do. One of the big weaknesses of making content for YouTube, which is very simple to make, is it's also very simple to be copied and reproduced by other YouTube producers. The one thing that I do to combat this is I try to make content that's a little bit more tricky to make, and of course I'm always trying to have my own style stamped across my videos. But that doesn't stop another producer from being fairly clever in their mind and coming in and being very, very similar to what I try and do. Remember, there's a lot of the audience which are fairly juvenile. They really can't tell one producer from another. I've watched this with my son. He would hop around to all different channels, almost thinking he was watching the same channel, when in reality he was actually skipping across 5 or 6 different channels, and basically the content was no different. It was quite an eye-opener for me to see this activity going on. So by all the screenshots whizzing by here, are you starting to get a feel for what's going on? Can you see some trends going on? There are some people who are trying to lay in links to eBay sales. There are people trying to lay in links to websites selling from China or wherever else. There are some people trying to lay links into goodness knows what else, something that they're ranting on about. But the majority of people are just laying in the old nice video style of comment, and often there's a link to one of their videos. Now, one of my pet hates on YouTube is when I see a larger producer or another toy review producer coming in and basically laying in across my videos over and over and over, nice video or great video. I've taken out quite a few YouTube producers for this, and some of them have been fairly high up on the pecking order. And one way they get caught out, and they probably don't realize this, is that in the fan listings, and let's hope they stick around because I've heard they're going away, Sure, it shows where people are ranked, but also shows their retention on my channel. And so often the people who are coming in with all of the layered comments, nice video, blah, 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 the retention data that YouTube shows me across my videos is extremely low. So from that data, they've actually been called out by me as being spammers, and I deal with these people in the best way that I can. Now, we've been looking at the comment spam, but there's also a different style of spam going on YouTube, and it's basically where people have gone into an upload frenzy where they've tried to lift up their channel by basically fogging out other producers. There's one channel I had a lot of respect for, I spoke about on my channel a few times, and all of a sudden they went into an upload frenzy in December where 350 videos were slammed up onto YouTube. I don't know what this person was thinking or what their plan was here, but I tell you what, I will never ever be speaking about this producer again on my channel. It was ridiculous what was going on there. But it has me asking the question, is this what being popular is about these days? Is this how you climb the ladder? I don't think it is. Please have your say on what you've seen in this video. I know there'll be people who are going to agree with me. There'll be other people who want to shoot me down in flames and say, hey Leo, you're being too harsh, or this is the way to become popular now. I want you to tell me what you think is correct. I come from an earlier era of YouTube and it was done differently back then. Sadly these days, this spamming and being fluffy friendly to everyone seems to be completely out of control. I can see through it, but there's a whole bunch of people who can't. Anyway, maybe you learned something in this, maybe you learned nothing. As always, thanks for watching and bye for now.